Alright, so we have been working really hard on simplifying fractions, and this is just one more lesson to kind of make things clear 100% with how to simplify improper fractions. So our lesson tonight is lesson 91, simplifying improper fractions. Alright, so the first one is, go ahead and do this problem yourself. I want you to add it, and then I also want you to simplify it. So go ahead and try it yourself. Alright, now you're going to follow along with me and check to see if you get it right. Okay, so 3 plus 3 is 6. And remember, we've gone over this several times. When we're adding, we never change the denominator because we're just adding the amount of pieces we have. We don't change what number they're out of. So it stays the same. Now, like we know before, this is an improper fraction. It is 6 divided by 4. So we do just that. I'm going to take 6 and divide it by 4. And when I do that, 4 can go into 6 one time. 1 times 4. So 6 minus 4 is 2. Now I have nothing else to bring down, and this is my remainder. So I need to put this as a fraction. 1 and 2. My over here, divisor, 4. So my answer is 1 and 2/4. But I'm not done. I need to reduce that one more. And you can see they're both even, so I divide the top and the bottom both by 2 to get 1 and 1/2 as my answer. So what we're kind of doing this time is just there's multiple steps. So we're going to have to either, reduce it twice. Sometimes we're going to add and have an improper fraction. That's kind of what we're practicing today. So the next problem, it says, write 8/6 as a mixed number in lowest terms. Alright, so we know that 8/6 is obviously an improper fraction. If the top number is bigger than the bottom, we can't have that. So I asked myself, how many times can 6 fit into 8? And you can do it that way, or you can just do it, again, like we did before, when we divide and then we have our answer is, with our fraction is our answer. So I would say, okay, how many times can 6 fit into 8? 1 full time. And how many do I have left over? Well, 6, 7, 8. So 2, and my denominator 6. But this is correct, but we still have to reduce one more time. I noticed that 2, these are both even, so 2 can fit in. So my whole number stays the same. I divide my top by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. I divide my bottom by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So my answer would be 1 and 1/3. Now, you could have done your problem like this. We have 8 divided by 6 and say, okay, 6 goes into 8 one time. 1 times 6 is 6. Subtracting, you get 2, nothing else to bring down, and then the 2 over 6 as your fraction, and then reduce it to 1 and 1/3 that way. So there are 2 different ways to do it. It's kind of up to you how you want to. Alright, the next one is kind of like a story problem for us. The dictionary is 1 7/8 inches thick, and the thesaurus is 1 3/8 inches thick. And I know that might be kind of hard for you to read, so it's 1 7/8 and 1 3/8. How thick are they all together? So when you see the word all together, it should click in your brain that, okay, I'm adding. So I'm going to add 1 7/8 plus 1 3/8. Okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and do it, like normal. So I'm going to say, add my whole numbers together. When you add your whole numbers together, you should get 1 plus 1, 2, and then I'm going to add my fractions. Remember, when I'm adding, I'm not changing my denominator. My denominator stays the same. I'm not changing how many pieces they're out of. I'm just changing the amount of pieces that I have. So if I add 7 plus 3, that's 10. But if you notice, this can't be my answer. And why can't this be my answer? Well, if you look, the fraction is improper. 10 over 8. 10 is too big. So we're going to have to reduce that. So what I would do is I would say, okay, how many 8s can fit in my 10? And we know that it can fit in 1 full time. So that's another whole. So I'm going to change my 2 to now 3 full wholes. And if I take 8 out of that 10, I'm going to have 2 left over. So 3 and 2/8. But you should see that fraction and think in your head, oh my goodness, both of those pieces are both even. So I know I'm going to have to reduce one more time. So I'm going to divide the top by 2 and the bottom by 2. And when I do that, I get a full 3. The whole number doesn't change. Divide the top by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. The bottom by 2, 8 divided by 2 is 4. And now I'm in lowest terms. 3 and 1/4 would be my answer. Alright, so you have 2 problems down here. They're kind of like the top 2. Go ahead and try them yourself. 1 and 5/6 plus 1 and 5/6. And then 2 and 3/4 plus 4 and 3/4. Try them both by yourself. Pause the video, do them, and then watch me do them and see if you get the same answer. You might do them a little bit differently than I do, but there are 2 methods, so whichever one works best for you. Okay, I'm going to do example number 3. So here we go. I'm going to first add my 1 and 1, my whole numbers together. 1 plus 1 is 2. I'm going to add my numerators. 5 plus 5 is 10. And I keep it over 6 because I do not change when I'm adding. And then I notice again like before, okay, I have an improper fraction and I can't have that. So I need to take a full 6 out of that 10. And it really only fits in once. So I'm going to change my whole number from a 2, it now becomes a 3. Okay, if I take 6 out of 10, I should have 4 left over, 4/6, and I'm going to notice they're both even, so I'm going to divide the top and the bottom both by 2 to get 3. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3, so I should have 3 and 2/3. Alright, now check your second one, or this is example 4. So I'm going to go ahead and add the 2 whole numbers together. 4 plus 2, 6. 3 plus 3, 6. Over my fourths, not changing my denominator. I notice that my numerator is bigger. It's an improper fraction. How many times can 4 fit into 6? And 4 can fit into 6 one time. So I'm going to change my whole number from a 6 to a 7. And if 4 fits into that 6 once, what do I have left over? I have 2 over 4. So then now I need to reduce my fraction. They're both even. So I keep my whole number the same. 2 divided by 2, 1. 4 divided by 2, 2. So my answer would be 7 and 1/2. Alright, here is your lesson practice. You have 6 problems. The first one, you just need to simplify these fractions. 6/4, 10/6, 2 and 8/6, 3 and 10/4. Here is a multiplication problem. 5/3 times 3/2 equals, make sure you reduce, and then 2 and 4/5 plus 3 and 4/5. Add them and then do not forget to reduce.